Alright, picture this. It's a Tuesday afternoon, your rent's due on Friday, and that unexpected car repair bill just smacked you in the face. You've been working hard, and you know your paycheck is coming, but it's not coming fast enough. You hear about these instant pay services like Dailypay that promise to bridge that gap. But then, a little voice in the back of your head whispers, "What's the catch? Are they going to bleed me dry with hidden fees?" Does that sound familiar? Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone, wondering if hitting that transfer button is going to cost you more than you bargained for? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today, the nitty-gritty of Dailypay transfer fees. Now, before we get into the specifics, let's take a step back and understand why these services exist in the first place. The traditional biweekly or monthly paycheck has been the standard for decades. But in today's fast-paced world, where bills come due at all times and unexpected expenses pop up like whack-a-moles, waiting for payday can feel like an eternity. That's where Dailypay and similar platforms come in. They offer a way to access your earned wages before your official payday, giving you a bit more control over your finances. But as with anything involving money, there's always the question of cost. And that's where the confusion often sets in. You see these flashy ads promising instant access, but what they don't always highlight are the potential fees that might be lurking beneath the surface. So, let's cut through the marketing jargon and get down to brass tacks. Are there fees associated with Dailypay transfers? The short answer is yes, there can be. But it's not as simple as a flat yes or no. The fees associated with Dailypay transfers can vary depending on a few key factors. First, let's talk about the different types of transfers. Dailypay typically offers a few options for accessing your earned wages. The most common is a standard transfer to your bank account, which usually takes 1 to 2 business days. Then there's the option for an instant transfer, which gets your money to you within minutes. And finally, some users may have access to transfers to a debit card or other specific payment methods. Now, here's where the fees come into play. Standard transfers, those that take a day or two, are often the most affordable, sometimes even free. Dailypay, in many cases, provides a limited number of these standard transfers without charging a fee. It's important to note that the number of free standard transfers can vary depending on your employer's agreement with Dailypay. However, if you need your money right away, the instant transfer option is where you'll likely encounter fees. These fees are typically calculated as a flat rate, rather than a percentage of the amount you're transferring. This means that whether you're transferring $50 or $500, the fee might be the same. The exact amount of these instant transfer fees can vary. It's crucial to check the Dailypay app or your employer's information to see the specific fees that apply to you. These fees are designed to cover the cost of processing the instant transfer, which involves a more complex and faster payment network. Another factor that can influence fees is the specific payment method you choose. Transferring to a debit card, for example, might incur different fees compared to a standard bank transfer. Again, this is due to the varying costs associated with different payment networks. It's also worth noting that some employers may subsidize or even cover the cost of Dailypay transfers as part of their employee benefits package. In these cases, you might find that you have access to a certain number of free or discounted transfers. This is a great perk to look out for, as it can significantly reduce or eliminate any fees associated with using Dailypay. Now, let's address some common misconceptions about Dailypay fees. One of the biggest is that Dailypay is a payday loan. It's important to understand that Dailypay is not a loan. It's a service that allows you to access your already earned wages. This means that you're not borrowing money and incurring interest charges. Instead, you're simply getting access to the money you've already earned. Another misconception is that Dailypay charges exorbitant fees. While there are fees associated with instant transfers, they are typically transparent and clearly disclosed within the app. It's always a good idea to review the fee schedule before initiating a transfer so you know exactly what to expect. So, how can you minimize or avoid Dailypay fees? The first and most obvious way is to plan ahead and use standard transfers whenever possible. If you know you'll need access to your funds, initiate a standard transfer a day or two in advance to avoid the instant transfer fees. Another way to minimize fees is to be mindful of the number of transfers you make. While a few transfers here and there might not seem like much, they can add up over time. Try to consolidate your transfers and only use them when absolutely necessary. Finally, take advantage of any employer-sponsored benefits that might cover or reduce Dailypay fees. Check with your HR department or review your employee benefits package to see if you're eligible for any discounts or subsidies. Now, let's talk about the value proposition. Is paying a fee for instant access to your earned wages worth it? The answer to this question depends entirely on your individual circumstances. If you're facing an urgent financial need, such as a rent payment or an unexpected expense, the convenience of instant access might outweigh the cost of the fee. However, if you can plan ahead and use standard transfers, you can avoid fees altogether. It's all about weighing the cost of the fee against the value of having instant access to your funds. It's also crucial to consider alternatives. If you're consistently relying on instant pay services to cover your expenses, it might be a sign that you need to reevaluate your budget and spending habits. Consider exploring other options, such as creating a budget, building an emergency fund, or seeking financial counseling. Dailypay and services like it can be a valuable tool for managing your finances, but it's important to use them responsibly. Understanding the fees associated with these services is crucial for making informed financial decisions. In summary, are there fees associated with Dailypay transfers? Yes, there can be, especially for instant transfers. The specific fees vary depending on factors such as the type of transfer, the payment method, and your employer's agreement with Dailypay. By understanding these fees and planning ahead, you can minimize or avoid them altogether. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.